Namaste, friends. I'm Steven.
I'm Candace.
And we're from Arcana, Mind, Body, Spirit, located in Toronto, Canada. Today's topic is going to be the North. We're going to be talking about the Northern Gateway and the guardians who are there. For most traditions, the North is where the earthen realm is. It's where we talk about the lessons of patience and of resting. It's where the most slow-moving animals live, the big creatures like elk and bison. It's always nice to have that image of, you know, like a really quiet forest. There's like a really slow-moving deer or elk walking through there and just hearing the branches underneath its feet. That's sort of the energy of the North, and it's a lot of grandfather energy, and usually it comes down to guidance, asking for patience. And what does the North mean to you?
I think of the North, I think of like planting in my garden. I think of like root systems. I think of like thick soil, deep. I think of like, you know, what it takes to grow something. You plant seeds, you have intentions, it takes time, it has to be the right time, the right season, and, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out, sometimes it does. There's things that you can do, but it's like this constant effort and work and to get where it needs to be, but it still has its own power and its own root system, and it might not be the season that it comes, but it might be the season that does come, might be different than the one that it was the season before. So I always think of like my garden, my plants, the things that I grow, and the patience and the root system. It's like that grounding kind of.
And I think that root system energy also comes down to like the ancestral. It's like where our lines, our bloodlines come from, all of that, and the spirit guides and ancestral guides. That's all up in the North too, which leads us to our question for today, our prompt for the North. So after the year that we have just had, what is some guidance that you wish you had this time last year?
I mean, I'm very much an Aries woman. And patience is very hard for me. I definitely, when I see something and want something, I want it now and I go for it. And a lot of the times, and we've talked about this in a lot of other videos about me, as I have a hard time finishing things. So I have like 100 projects because I'm like, let's go. And I like want it and I see it and I have it. And then when I need that patience and I need to plant those seeds, which is funny because I have a really good green thumb.
Yeah, super.
But like just
you
naturally,
are the garden witch. Yeah.
Just naturally, like there's people who are like, oh, I bought this special soil, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, really? I went to like the Dollarama and got some soil, and I have these like luscious, huge plants. And
you should see them. Wild.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with that, but I'm sure I could figure it out. It's just that some time. That's another video. But yeah, I think my messages would be, again, just have patience, trust the process. Give myself over to the process is the big one, and to not want to give up or just like throw in the towel when things aren't going as I wanted them to go or expected them to go. So I think I would like to be able to be like, it's gonna be okay. Everything is gonna happen the way that it's supposed to happen. In the end, just to have gratitude for everything that I do have, and not just dwell and get upset over the things that didn't work out.
Right.
Yeah, I think I needed some reminders of that. If I could have just jumped in and been like, it's okay. Relax.
Yeah.
Hold on. It's gonna be fine. Take some breaths. Take some time.
I was like, that's a perfect segue, because I was going to say that. The guidance that I wish I had is literally just like a hug, being like, it's all going to be okay. Yeah. It's going to be okay. Yeah. Like, it's not going to look like what you think it's going to look like, but it's going to be okay. Yeah. And like, I wish I had that perspective. I'm at the beginning of this year, before the world became what it did last year, like in January and everything, I was going through sort of like an emotional crisis about my health, and I was really worried that I was getting sick, and it was really funny that right after I got this like clean bill of health, COVID happened. It's sort of like I was already going through this like health conscious crisis consciousness that was like worrying about health, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, and now I have to worry about health again for this entire year. Okay. So again, just like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Kind of like, even as an air sign, it's kind of like a lot of it's in your head. You're overthinking a lot of it. Like, just like, it's gonna be okay. That's sort of that's what I wish. Just like a big grandfather hug. Like,
yeah.
you don't know. You're new. It's okay.
So you'd say that you overthink stuff?
Yeah. Oh my God. As an air sign, it's all I do. I overthink. That's like a part of, like, Geminis are some of the greatest thinkers in the zodiac, but it's very easy for us to get lost in our swirl. Like, we're in our own fucking timeline most of the time, right? So, yeah. So for me, that would be where that is. So what about you? This right now, as we face whatever we face coming in 2021, if you could get any clarity or guidance from the North, from the elders, from the ancestors, what would you wish you could know about next year?
It's hard for me right now, and I think it's healthiest for me right now to not think of grand end results. I think what I would want as far as messages and signs is throughout. Like, I am 100% dedicated to accepting and trusting and giving over to whatever is going to happen. And I just want some guidance and some signs, or I would love to have some signs just to let me know that I'm on the right path.
Right.
And to steer me when I'm not, or when I need to look somewhere else, like I want something to happen, a gentle steering would be nice versus like a punch in the gut, which life can do. So I would love it to be a gentle, if I'm going to be aware, I would hope that that whatever nudge and whatever guidance and whatever signs I'm getting are a little more gentle. And I'm also hoping the fact that I am being aware that I'm changing my coping skills anyways. So even if it does from the outside seem like it's kind of harsh, it won't be as harsh for me because I'm already in a state of acceptance. So I'm going to handle it differently, right? So I'm just I want to be continuously aware of the signs as I move forward. I don't really know what's going to be on the other side, and to say something would be a complete guess, and I don't want to set myself up for a disappointment. So I'm just like I said, I'm in acceptance of wherever I'm going to be, whatever I'm going to do, and I'm just moving through it. And I hope that I'm staying aware enough to see the signs and get the guidance, instead of just being like locked in, like, I put my blinders on, I want this, and I can't hear the things because I'm just like, right? So I'm just kind of like more open, and I'm like ready to receive and like go, okay, and I'm gonna move here. Oh, not that way. Okay, over here. And I just know that the universe is working for me, and I know wherever I'm gonna end up, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, having that like pranoic vision of like everything is conspiring in my favor, and having like trust that like just those little benchmarks. I totally get that like to know that you're on that path. Yeah.
So what about you? Do you have something more focused that you're going for, or more like focused in on a goal? Or like how are you feeling?
I feel like I need to remain open. I feel like my plans are all sort of up in the air and shifting in all kinds of different places. I think if I was asking for guidance from the North, it would be the gift of perspective. So when I'm in these moments of like, what do I do? Do I choose this? Do I do that? What do I focus on? Because I often find myself in these moments of like crisis of like, sometimes it's time management, but like, what do I do? Which one do I do right now? I want to have sort of like a vast open, like, you know that feeling when you're like on a cliff and the air is just like blowing on your face and there's just so much perspective. I want to have that and know that, like...
Sorry, well, that's how your example of like a moment for perspective. On a cliff in the wind, but continue. Yes. Yeah. Perspective.
Yes,
that time I cried into my
like,
pillow
what?
for 8 hours and I woke up like after an emotional nap. I had lots of perspective. Continue though. Cliff, wind, perspective,
Just
arms
like
outstretched.
that wide vista of like...
Yeah.
I want to see, like, I want to know, like, I'm not the only one suffering. I'm not the only person. Like, I don't want to be trapped in my head thinking, like, the whole world's revolving around me, which sometimes can be a pitfall for me. Mm-hmm. So I want to feel that I want to be a part of the world that's happening around me, and I want to experience everything and know that, like, I just want to keep having those sort of, like, moments of, like, right, it's okay. Everyone's trying to figure this out. Mm-hmm. Everyone's trying to navigate. Everyone's trying to recreate. Everyone's always going through that. Mm-hmm. Instead of just being so insularly focused on my one thing and what I'm trying to do.
Sounds like your connection.
Yeah.
Looking for connection.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Sort of that broad, open feeling of like being connected in like the energy root system of everyone around us. Mm-hmm. And everyone not around me. Everyone everywhere. That we're all sort of collectively working towards something. Just always having that perspective rather than just get this done by then. Yeah. Because that's what I'm doing. That would be my guess. I feel like spending a year with that thought process, I could be a much more open person by the end of next year. I would love that. So, what about you guys? What are some things that you wish you had known about last year? And what are you hoping to manifest next year? And what are you, if you could get any information or gifts or guides, because you know what, here's the thing, when you're in a collective, in a community like Arcana, there are a lot of people who can help remind you and give you guidance. Yeah. So write in, what are you hoping? What could you have more information on that would help you get on your most optimal timeline on what you're trying to create? In January, we're starting our program, Conscious Co-Creation. We're going to be working on creating all of our best lives next year. We're going to do it all together. We're really excited.
Super excited.
Super excited. So make sure you subscribe.
Yeah.
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all the things.
All the things.
Namaste, Joanne.
Namaste.